Hello and welcome everyone. In this video, we're going to be talking about the NOC and the changes that are coming up in 2022. So if you're in the process of immigrating or interested in immigrating to Canada, this might be quite relevant to you. For those who don't know me, my name is Janaina Viana and a lot of my clients call me Jane. I have been working in the field of immigration for several years now, and I'm currently working as a regulated Canadian immigration consultant here at eVisa. So in this video, I want to talk to you about the NOC. What is it? Why is it important? And what kind of changes we can expect to see in 2022. So NOC stands for National Occupation Classification and is essentially a matrix or a table that the Government of Canada uses to classify and rank different occupations. In the context of immigration, the NOC is important because it helps you identify what kind of work experience you had previously from outside Canada and what would be the equivalent of that in Canada. The NOC is updated on a regular basis. We usually have major revisions like this one happening this year every decade, but we do have annual reviews as well. The version of the NOC that is currently being used is the NOC 2016, and the version that is being implemented in 2022 is known as the NOC 2021. So the NOC 2021 brings quite a lot of changes from the previous version, and this new NOC essentially has two major attributes. The first one is what we call broad occupation category. It includes essentially 10 different broad categories, and examples of that would be business, health, trades, sales and services, and so on. The second major attribute, and perhaps what constitutes the biggest change to the new NOC, is what we know as tier categories. So tier category stands for training, education, experience, and responsibilities, and that would be the equivalent of the previous skill level on the previous version of the NOC. The tier foresee 6 different categories, and that is dependent on the type of training and the level of education required for you to perform a given job. The NOC 2021 is composed of a 5-digit code, while the previous NOC was composed out of only 4 digits. The first digit indicates the broad occupation category, and it ranges from 0 to 9. The second digit indicates the tier category, and it ranges from 0 to 5. As a reference, Tier 1 would indicate an occupation that requires a university degree, such as a lawyer or a physician, while Tier 5 would indicate an occupation that does not require any formal education. The remaining 3 digits indicate the submajor group, the minor group, and the unit group, but they're not really that relevant to help you identify where your NOC would fit in. The key is really on the first and second digits of the new code, and those are the broad occupation category and the tier categories. Now let's review the major changes and briefly talk about what occupations have been impacted by the implementation of the NOC 2021. Right? We can see that this is a major structure revision, and a lot of occupation groups have been reorganized. The 2 major attributes of the new NOC, as we saw, are the broad occupation category, that would be the first digit, and the tier categories, and that would be the second digit. And the tier system really moves away from the low skill to high skill classification that we saw on the previous NOC. Luckily, we have 18 occupations that got promoted and 3 occupations that got demoted. And when I say that, I'm referring to it specifically in the context of immigration programs such as Express Entry or certain provincial nominee programs, where what we used to know as skill level 0, A or B would now be the equivalent of tier categories 0 to 3. As per occupations that have been negatively impacted, we have program leaders in recreation, sports and fitness, tailors and dressmakers, and other artists not listed anywhere else. As per occupations that have been positively impacted, we have a list of 18 different NOC codes, but just to give you a few examples, those would include truck drivers, dental assistants, secondary school teacher assistants, and payroll administrators, and several other occupations. So this is really great news for those professionals looking to immigrate, because now those occupations will be considered what we used to call skilled work, and they will be eligible for immigration programs such as Express Entry and other provincial nomination programs as well. Now, before we wrap the video up, I want to give you a few tips to help you identify what's the best NOC code for you. Okay, so start with a general search by job title. For some occupation, that's going to be quite straightforward. Now, if you have a more hybrid role, you might find that you are between NOCs, or there's a big overlap between 1 or 2, sometimes even 3 different NOC codes. But please note that it's very important that you identify what's the most suitable. You cannot stay between NOCs, and you cannot, for immigration purpose, indicate 2 NOCs for the same occupation. Now, after that, look at the description of the NOC code. You'll see that you have the lead statement on the top of the page, and right after you have the example titles. And even if your title it's not listed on that list of examples, it's okay, as long as your duties are aligned with the lead statement and the description of that particular NOC. Managerial duties are often described as planning, controlling, and supervising. So if you are indicating or using NOC code that refers to a supervision or managerial position, you have to make sure that you actually perform those tasks. Lastly, your wages can also serve as a reference point. Your salary should be aligned with the expectation of that particular NOC position. That's all for now, guys. Thanks for watching. I hope this video was informative. And if you're interested in immigrating to Canada, or if you want to learn more about your options, I'm going to leave a link below for you to schedule a consultation with me. Okay? Thanks for watching once again, and see you next time.